This episode of UDS Election Hub is proudly brought to you by Dolce's Ghana, ice creams, birthdays, and more, and Burger Shack, the King Shack in burger making.
Okay, so you're welcome back from the commercial break. I am East Nikoya, and today I'm still talking to an SRC presidential candidate, Samuel Akumbo Wakiki. He's sharing with us his policies. He's breaking down his policies for us today. So please help me welcome back to the show, Wakiki.
Thank you.
And so, Mr. President, I want us to move on and also talk about the shuttle system.
Yes.
Every time I go to a university like UCC or University of Ghana, where I spend a few of my holidays there, I have a few friends there, so I visit them sometimes. And every time I go, transportation is like a seemingly easy thing. Like students are carried from their hostels to their lectures and back to their hostels in a shuttle system, which UDS, as big as we are, we could have been running such a system. So I want you to tell us, what would you, or I want you to tell us what your shuttle system is going to be about, and how is it going to operate?
Yes. Great. You can't agree with me that our students are suffering, bordering yellow, which is risky, and it is not even accepted by the laws of Ghana.
Yes.
You know, yellow from school to town, and sometimes they even sit with the market women from town to school. It's a worrying issue.
Yeah.
When I see them, I shed tears. And another issue is you see wretched taxis picking our students, well dressed. They'll get to town, they are dirty and all sort of things. So I thought of this and I said, look, I've done it before. When you go to my constituency, when I was the aide to my boss, really I took this initiative. We were able to look for, private vehicles for constituents, and it is easy. Maslock is there. Maslock, it is the only thing that you have to go and have an agreement with them. And then through my administration, what I will do is that I should be able to get, even if not more than that, we should get 5 mini taxis.
Right.
That will be able to carry the students to and fro from school to town and from town to campus. It should be painted and branded SRC shuttle, cars.
Right.
Are you getting me? The reality is that Maslow only needs an agreement, and this is what they want to do. We want to do. When I had the conversation with the national boss, he was like, we can give it to you, work and pay. Okay. It is not going to have any effect on SRC money, not at all. It is going to finance itself. Okay. You pick the car, then you sign the agreement, then every month you put something down for them, okay, until you finish payment, and it will now go to SRC. But if you bring it is SRC branded, taxis, which will be working for SRC. Will make sure that even if I'm not in the administration, if I hand over, the one who will take over should be able to continue payment. When they work, at the end of the day, they do the payment until they finish payment and the car belongs to the SRC. Okay. These are ideologies that we need not to spend money on it. Right. So basically, I think we need to really think bigger. Right. Usually we elect people who do not have that vision. We only elect people who think that if it is not SRC fund, that ends it. We dip our hands all the time into SRC fund. Please, let's think beyond that. Right. You see, sometimes a musician coming to for SRC week celebration, other institutions, other agencies sponsor the musician. Right. But have you ever seen an agency sponsoring UDS SRC week celebration? Absolutely no. It is because we elect people who do not really have that kind of external exposure.
Right.
That is making the whole thing difficult for us.
So, I want to briefly it's like a taxi, it's a mini taxi. I would want to know its capacity. How many students can it take at a time in one ride?
4.
Okay.
3 at the back, 1 in front,
Okay.
with the driver, making it 5.
Okay.
That is if they don't overload it, and I'm not going to entertain that.
Right. Okay.
3 at the back, 1 in front with the driver. That is 5. That is it.
So, is it also going to be relatively cheaper than the already existing?
Sure.
Transport system?
Our main target is to reduce the burden on students.
Right.
Currently, I think from here to town is about 2 cedi or 1 cedi pesos.
Right.
So roughly, the taxi should be able to pick 1 cedi from here to town. Yes, they should be able, so that we will reduce the burden on students.
Right.
Sometimes it is difficult. And in my administration, you will see it. Let's pray I go through.
Alright.
If I'm through, things will change, really change in this school.
Okay.
Yes.
Alright. So I want us to also move on and also talk about the projectors and PA systems for every, if I'm not mistaken, for every class, every lecture hall.
Yes.
Right. Okay. I think it's a thing which needs really urgent attention, because in our class like this we are about 120 students, and every single time a lecturer has to either scream on top of his voice, and even with that, a lot of our students at the back always complain that they don't get anything from a lecture. So I think it's a good thing. We hope that you would actually come and then do this. So I want you to briefly run us through that as well.
Yeah, great. The last time we had the presidential debate, we came out and jokingly, I was actually talking with one of the presidential candidates.
Right.
And I said, how did it go? Charlie, you have been on my neck. And I said, what is the problem? It's like you are well organized, you understand what you are talking about. You see, before I write a policy, usually I go through to ask how I'm going to initiate it and the way forward. The reason being that you need to understand what you are bringing on board, so that even if you are sleeping and they knock you or wake you up, that what is this, you should be able to explain it to the understanding of a common person.
Right.
That is to say, the PA system and then the projectors. When I asked, the company was like, we sell it 1,200 for the projector. But if you are going to buy a larger quantity, you can't do it 8 something for you. And this is going to be a Bluetooth device.
Right.
You just buy the thing, you mount it, and then cage the PA system, so that there won't be to and fro, so that you say it has fallen, or maybe the PA system or the projector has been stolen. We will cage it with the wall, and the Bluetooth device. The lecturer will come with the laptop, and you just connect it to Bluetooth, and then you are good to go. We won't go struggle with this kind of manual kind of fixing and other things. We are going digital this time. In my administration, this is what I want to do for the whole entire student body, and possibly the classes to aid the academic activity.
It is a really great one, but I'm a bit concerned with like a few of our lecturers unfortunately still use like archaic computers, right? So I'm actually looking at a situation where a lecturer comes to lecture and his PC is not able to connect to the Bluetooth thing. Is there any alternative device in place, or like Are you also going to provide extra PCs in the lecture halls to handle a few of these?
Agree. I think with this, time will tell, but I don't think this will.
Okay, so I want us to move on and talk about electricity. I know this policy is dear on the hearts of a lot of students on campus, and that we all have been experiencing these frequent doomsday situations. And although it's not just a UDS thing, it's a nationwide problem, but you made mention of it in a previous interview that your administration is poised to help reduce these doomsdays. And so how do you intend working on that issue as well?
Great. This particular policy, people look at it and really because they have not gotten explanation to it, they are a little bit confused.
Right.
This is the way I am doing the whole thing. Last time I went to their office to ask questions. Why is it that sometimes you can see lights all around, but on campus we don't have lights?
Right.
The question I asked was like, that was the first time it was brought to their notice. And what they said was that the grading or the load for the Dungu community and that of the campus electricity issues is huge, to the extent that most of the time either we have low current, you cannot use it to even charge a phone, or possibly lights goes off and there's nobody that report from school, campus to them. Sometimes they don't even know we don't have lights. So what they need to do is that they either change the line and connect it with the airport line to give us frequent and then constant electricity supply. Or better still, they change the line or separate the Dungu community and that of the campus connection. That will give us frequent electricity supply on campus. So this is a push. You need to really constantly see them, or possibly have someone, talk to someone to influence them. That's what I've been saying, that you need to trigger a system, to influence a system for that system to work. Exactly, and that is what we're going to do. We are not going to joke with this, because most of the time, lights goes off for 3 consecutive days, and we don't have a correspondent, a student leader who will call or possibly move to the VRA office or GRICO office to address this issue. And in my administration, all my appointees will be monitored. You must do the work. If you cannot do, it means you are not interested.
Exactly.
That is exactly what I'm going to do. And it's going to be a central seat. And you know what central seat means? It means you will be part of the governing council of the school. So therefore, I will have a voice that will be represented by the entire students. And we will push this to address this pertinence on campus.
Okay, great one. So under your entertainment policy, I see a very interesting show there, that the entertainment committee shall work in collaboration with a major TV station to implement a talent discovery show to be dubbed UDS Discovery Night. And it's a program ambition to help unearth great talent in students and also provide a platform for students gifted in all forms of art to hone and market their unique talent. I think it promises to be an exciting night, and I really can't wait to actually MC that particular program. So I want you to briefly talk about that as well.
Great. Campus is boring.
Very boring. It is very boring.
Agree with me. Campus is boring.
It's very boring.
My administration and my shadow ministers, I have been telling them that when you come, let students feel us.
Right.
And this is going to be the first ever policy that we are going to introduce on campus. It has never happened. Discovery show or discovery night. People have talent. They are very talented students on campus, but they don't have the platform to exhibit it. So on this issue, the one who will be the entertainment committee chair must always have something different to give it to students.
Right.
Let students, unearth their talent to show what they can do.
Right.
And certainly, if we have some of them, we will be able to push them higher.
Yes.
Through it is not only, when you come to school, I've been saying that you don't just pass through the school. Let a little bit of the school also do what? Pass through you.
Okay.
And this is exactly what we're going to do. We'll get a talented night or maybe a discovery show night, which we will ask the students to unearth things that they have. They should compete and we'll scrutinize them very well. Then finally we'll pick people that we need to support in our little way to actually get far. That is what we mean by UDS Discovery Night, and we are going to do it in my administration.
Right, okay. So I see that it will be with a major TV station. I really want to ask, is there going to be a TV station based here in the north or outside of?
Great. We have that kind of personal relationship with the people out there.
Right.
Quite aside from that, TV3 is yearning to do this thing.
Right.
They want people who are actually upcoming, and they want to nurture them to get there. In as much as we need TV stations within the northern sector to project or maybe promote them, certainly we'll bring the bigger TV stations so that our people can be seen nationwide, so that they will be able to assess them. Someone will just watch it and have interest of actually supporting or bringing up that particular student. So TV3 is one mega TV station we will be, contacting to do these things alongside with the TV stations around, so that we'll be able to help our students move far.
I was actually asking because I think in the long run it would go a long way to boost the image of our institution as well.
Sure.
All that. So we have very limited time left, so I want you to quickly run us through the security aspects. A lot of issues have actually come up with stealing of items from hostels, and then on campus itself, if I come to lecture and then I have a motorbike which unfortunately isn't having a lock, a lot of students complain of they getting missing and all that. So I want you to briefly run us through security, sports, and then the sanitations.
Security. The security, I made mention of extension of the street lighting system, and the street lighting system, this is something I was even thinking that I should be able to do it without even waiting to be the SIC president. Because I wouldn't want to mention it. I have physically supplied street lights to a leader on campus here, and I was watching, thinking that it could have been done by now. Well, I really do not know whether he has or he had that intention to do it. Quite aside from that, we need to supply the whole school with a good lighting system. If possible, this solar light should be changed to proper lighting, the street lighting, to make campus brighter. And most of the private hostels, where there are darkness and other things, we should be able to mount some street light, even if it is one, to brighten the place. That will solve the security issue. Two, I think that even the relationship between the security men on campus and that of students is poor. Sometimes you see a security man exchanging, words and even blows with students. And what we don't know as students is actually, we don't even know we are junior staffs. We are not just students, we are junior staffs. Even lecturers, they should respect us because we are equally staffs. Are you getting me? So if a security man happens to raise their hand on the student, possibly insulting, embarrassing the student, it is not fair. we are going to stop this. In my administration, this will stop. The relationship between students and security, and even that of lecturers, it should be cordial relationship. It is because of us that we are here. So therefore, we should not be, I don't know how to put it, but I think that is what I can do.
Okay.
We should be able to handle each other like a family.
Right, okay.
Yes.
So, under the sports, I see that you are willing to provide additional sports kits to all departments and also prioritize sportsmen and women in all scholarship offers.
Yes, someone made mention of this. A candidate, we went to a class to actually have interaction with them, and he promised them Jesus when he's elected into office. We noticed that last week I started sharing Jesus to the various classes. I shared Jesus in the sense that there are things that I don't need to write it as a policy. In my own capacity, if I can access, why not? So I supply some Jesus and footballs to them. I wouldn't wait to come to power before I promise you Jesus and other things. Things that we should be doing is we should be able to provide additional sporting kits than other things for the department, and that of to prioritize the sportsmen and women in scholarship. We should be able to lobby for scholarship for these sportsmen and women. They represent the school out there, and that makes it greater if we are able to settle issues that they are facing. So in my administration, about my scholarship issue, most of the time I've been saying, and people, they think it is something that, I don't know how to put it, but currently as I speak, I have supported 126 students who are on Get One scholarship and are not paying school fees again. And I think I have been able to put a smile on their faces, and I'm happy with it. So when I come through these initiatives, I should be able to lobby for the sportsmen and women to also benefit in this regard. And it is all boiling down to my exposure, the connection, and that kind of relationship with the big men out there. They should be able to support me, support my students. Yes. About the Wi-Fi, I have actually had a very good conversation with the manager, the MTN, and I think I've been saying that if you are using something and it is not helping you, you either change it or possibly you revamp it. Understand the current Wi-Fi they are using is being aided by Vodafone also. So we are now bringing MTN on board, and that is when I inquired from the manager, he made it simple that the router for the particular block will be 750 Ghana cedis, which can contain, and throughout the campus they should be able to get 4. Then one mounted at education, one at SAS, one at School of Medicine, and then they will actually reconnect the cruise hostel to it. That will be 5 of them. And I think roughly 8,000 will be able to package this, which we will use it to actually give a proper and a convenient, reliable, Wi-Fi to the entire school, which we will all benefit from it. So I think this is what I want to do for students if I'm given the chance to lead them. The Wi-Fi will be revamped through MTN, and then we will have proper Wi-Fi system for our academic activities.
So we will want to wrap up on today's conversation, but before we go, we'll give an opportunity to your incoming president to tell you something. Why should he vote? Why should you vote for him?
Great. I think it is opportunity than me to have this platform. Look, I have been saying to students in class that if you happen not to vote for Wakiki, you won't have interest in voting in UDS again. We've suffered so long, and this time we need someone who can really stand in for you. You need a voice, someone who can not only who can not always rely or maybe dip his hands onto the student funds. You need someone who have the connection. You need someone who can actually bring things from external. We need Wakiki at this time. We want to open a new chapter for the entire students. So join the race, join the team, push for us, let us win big. It is not a joke, we are serious. And this time, we need to all come on board in a unanimous decision to make a greater choice for UDS. Thank you very much. We are together opening a new chapter and be part of it. Thank you.
Okay, so this has been the UDS Election Hub with me, Mr. Graham. Kindly do well to subscribe to our channel. We have more interesting conversations planned for you. So once again, thank you so much for watching.
Thank you.